leaving other CAD. So Robert Green is based in the US. He is the director of implementation at Bricsys. Robert received his engineering degree from the Georgia Institute of Technology and made a move to the West Coast early in his career. He has worked in various electromechanical design projects for a variety of Silicon Valley firms. And along the way, Robert has mastered the ins and outs of CAD products from SDRC, GE, Calma, Bentley, PTC, and Autodesk. This experience, coupled with his inquisitive nature, brought Robert to his first CAD management role. Today, as a Bricsys Director of Implementation, Robert is responsible for ensuring the technical and financial success of customers as they migrate to BricsCAD. It's a formidable task, but one that fits Robert's skill set perfectly. Welcome, Robert, and welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Now I hand over the floor to Robert, our speaker for today.
Fantastic. Thank you. And good morning from the United States. So in my role as the Director of Implementation here at Bricsys, as he said, that it's my responsibility to make sure that you understand what your options are. And if you want to move from your existing CAD solution to BricsCAD, it's easy to do so. And I would like to share some methodologies with you today to show you how that can work, share my suggested workflows for making the switch. I'm aware that some of you may be CAD managers or IT managers, and some of you may be super CAD users. So I will try to steer the discussion in a way that makes sense for everyone. So the first thing that I would always say about moving to BricsCAD is, and hoping that everything works here on the internet today, there we go, is that BricsCAD really gives you a fully compatible user experience. Look at this screen and tell me if it seems like your existing CAD application. It does. It's highly familiar. It's from a user interface and a user experience point of view. We've tried to make BricsCAD as easy for you to learn as possible. So we've organized our interface in such a way that you will be comfortable as an AutoCAD user, most likely, or an AutoCAD LT user. This should seem very familiar to you. Now, a few things about BricsCAD, though, that you may not know, because maybe you've never worked with BricsCAD before. Maybe you've never seen BricsCAD before. So I'd like to say a few things about that. The first thing is BricsCAD is fully DWG compatible. You do not have to translate your DWGs. You do not have to save as your DWG. You simply open and save and work with DWGs in BricsCAD, just like you have with your existing application. Our command structure is 100% compatible. So if you want to draw a line, you say line. If you want to draw a circle, you say circle. Move, copy, all the functions that you're used to are the same in BricsCAD, so it's very easy for you to start working. Our support files are highly compatible. For example, we load in and run your Lisp routines just as you have in the past. So we try to make this as easy for you as humanly possible. In fact, my goal as the Director of Implementation is to make your BricsCAD look so familiar that we achieve what we like to call muscle memory compatibility. And that means you simply sit down at BricsCAD and you just start using it the same way that you've used your familiar CAD application for years. That makes it super easy to learn. Now, BricsCAD is not just a product, it's actually a family of products. And I'd like to take a moment to make you aware of how that works. And the internet is slow today. There. So the BricsCAD product family spans from our classic product, which is kind of like LT, AutoCAD LT, if you think about it, with an important difference. It runs Lisp, which AutoCAD LT does not. And this moves up through BricsCAD Pro and Platinum, which adds additional 3D functionalities, programming functionalities, mechanical modeling functionalities, and then all the way up into mechanical and BIM tools. All of this together is called BricsCAD Ultimate. And that's what you'll get if you download BricsCAD and try it for yourself. And of course, all these tools also come with our BricsCAD 24/7, which is our common cloud-based collaborative data environment tool to glue it all together. So when you try BricsCAD, and after this presentation today, I hope you will, you'll be able to download BricsCAD Ultimate and see for yourself. Now, why BricsCAD? This is a reasonable question. Why would I ever want to change what I already have? Yeah, let's answer those questions briefly. Well, the first thing is BricsCAD is very affordable. From a standpoint of the licensing cost, we still give you perpetual licensing options, network licensing options. I'll talk more about that a bit later. So there's a cost saving that you can have with BricsCAD, and that's important, and that's one reason you should consider BricsCAD. But we're also highly compatible with the solution that you're probably already using today, which means that it is easy to learn BricsCAD. Combine that with our flexibility in terms of licensing and customization, which I'll be talking about more during the presentation. Put that all together, and BricsCAD is an easy decision. You can save money, you can learn it quickly. It makes a lot of sense from all of those perspectives. But here's another thing. BricsCAD is highly powerful. We're not just doing the same things that your existing application is doing. We're doing more, and I'd like to share some of that information with you now. Not only are we highly compatible with the DWG standard, so you just open and save your DWGs like you always have, and our command compatibility, but we also read in your CUI, custom CUI elements like toolbars and drop-down menus and ribbon tabs. We can read in your macros and scripts directly from your CUI files. We support your plotting configurations, pattern files, line types you may have customized, templates. We open your sheet sets. All this stuff we do in the same way you're already used to. But if you add to that the fact that BricsCAD supports multi-threaded functionality, we do a lot of things behind the scenes to open files much faster. For example, our sheet sets use multiple cores to open those drawings very rapidly. We're doing a lot of things in the background from a memory processing point of view and data integrity point of view that's actually superior to the solution you're probably already using. And one of the core things that we really try to do is to use machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithms to do things that make what would ordinarily be very time-consuming, very repetitive tasks, like organizing blocks or copying repetitive geometry all over your drawing, will give you new functionalities like Blockify or Copy Guided that allow you to speed those workflows. So we're not just an AutoCAD compatible tool, we're an AutoCAD compatible tool that's going the distance. We're making this a better product, more powerful, faster, and more based on time accelerating AI workflows that help you get your job done faster. We run your Lisp routines. We run them as well as AutoCAD, and we run them faster because of our common Lisp data environment. We can actually load in and run your tools much more rapidly than you've been used to in the past. These are just a few of the things that we can actually do better. But now let's get to the meat of the discussion. The question might be, okay, I'm interested, but how can BricsCAD actually replace my existing solution? Show me some specifics. So let's talk about that. Well, the first thing that I like to do from a standpoint of helping companies make the migration is I'm always trying to think about what are the best approaches and the best practices. What do I need to understand? How do I approach this? What order do I perform the tasks in? If I make this migration process as easy as possible, several things happen. I make fewer mistakes. I get from my existing CAD solution to BricsCAD faster, and not only with fewer mistakes, but faster. And this allows me to achieve a quick success. And it allows me to show my users how easy it can be to replace their existing solution. So here's the order in which I do that. I use this strategy. I familiarize the users with what BricsCAD looks like. I then decide what kind of licensing scheme I'm going to use for my company. I'm going to migrate my customized assets like CUIs and Lisp files so that I can make BricsCAD feel like your existing solution. That will make it very easy for my users to learn. If I perform the migration in this order, it works very nicely. And I'll share a customer success story with you here in just a moment. Success with BricsCAD is not an accident. It's a result of having a strategy and a plan. So I'm now going to share with you exactly how I work through this process. The first thing that I do is I encourage you to actually clean up your existing environment, go through your network, clean off all the old blocks, all the old CUI files that you're no longer using, any programs that haven't been used in 10 years, get rid of them. I want to clean up everything as much as I can so that I can do a clean minimum migration to BricsCAD. Don't bring everything over from your old solution to BricsCAD. Only bring over the things you really need. This will not only make it easier for you if you're the CAD manager doing the migration, but it means BricsCAD will run faster because you're only bringing over the things that you really truly need. Now, when I do this, it allows me to start running my old solution and BricsCAD in parallel. This means that I have to take a little bit of time to set BricsCAD up correctly. What I will do there is I will establish the network folders that I need for BricsCAD assets. I will migrate my customization over. More on that in a moment. I'll actually copy over my peripherals. So things like my plotter configurations and page setups, templates, I'll copy them over. And this gives me that clean minimum migration that I'm talking about. This will also allow me to test BricsCAD alongside, in parallel with my existing CAD solution. So I can verify that everything works as it should. And this is a key part of my strategy. I want to validate BricsCAD at the same time I'm running my old solution. That way, when you finally do go away from your old solution, once your licenses expire, you know that BricsCAD works and there are no surprises. Now, here's a story of a company that we helped migrate. They're called Subsea 7. They're headquartered out of Aberdeen, Scotland, and they also have a branch location in Houston in the United States. Here you can see me with some of their team, and we did the migration for them along with their CAD manager, Lee Connors. And I'll not read you this quote, I'll let you read it. But Lee was able to take her experience with AutoCAD, and she was able to go through this process with me, with a little bit of assistance, and bring all their customization over. They were then able to take 200 BricsCAD floating network licenses and support over 1,000 global users, all their branch offices all over the planet. They were able to do this in such a way that BricsCAD looked so familiar, so close to their old solution that they had no formal training program. They did a 45-minute orientation video that was sent to everyone that they could view on their own time, and that was it. So I'm very proud of what we were able to achieve there. And of course, they were able to save a substantial amount of money by cutting down the number of token licenses that they were using with their existing solution. Now, in case you're not familiar, what is a network license? Well, this allows your company to simply own a pool of licenses, and then you can support any number of users from that pool of licenses. This is something that Autodesk is no longer allowing you to do. They're presently in a change to what is called a named user licensing methodology. and they're no longer supporting network licenses on new renewals. So this is important for you to understand. The license server is easy to install. It's put on a server somewhere in your company location, and then any number of users you like, no matter where they are, can use your BricsCAD licenses. And this allows you to save a substantial amount of money over a named user model. So that's an important thing to grasp. BricsCAD gives you that flexibility. We like to say they're your licenses, they should be your way and your choice. What do we mean by that? Well, BricsCAD offers you perpetual licenses. These are licenses you can buy. It's not a subscription that renews every year. These are licenses that you can buy and run them as long as your operating system will allow you to run it. That's a Microsoft issue. This allows you to have maintenance and own your licenses in the lowest cost manner possible. Now, if you want to do a subscription with BricsCAD, you can, but you don't have to. The point is, it's your choice. We don't tell you how to license your software. That's up to you. You can have multi-language versions, so you can download any language version of BricsCAD that's supported, and it will run with your same license. You do not have to get a different license. You do not have to enter into a different contract to do this. And you can use the BricsCAD licenses no matter where you're located. We continue to support network multi-user licensing, volume multi-user licensing, or you can mix it all up. It's up to you. Your business, your requirements, it's your choice. So you can license BricsCAD however you like. Think about that and what will be best for your company. Now, I will say this about our network licensing scheme. We use what is called Reprise License Manager. It controls our floating, perpetual, and subscription licenses. It's very easy to install. You can do it in about 5 minutes. It lives on a server somewhere inside of your firewall, and it is FlexLM reporting compatible. So if you're presently using FlexLM license management from Autodesk or token license management, which is Token Flex, you will see that the logging files that are produced by Reprise are compatible. And the important thing to note is that our licenses will work anywhere with any language version of BricsCAD. All you have to do is install the Reprise License Manager once, and you're done. Now, let's move a little bit on to the actual usage of the software. We like to say if you can use AutoCAD, you can use BricsCAD because the commands and interface are so familiar. But what about customization? I mean, that's right. You probably don't use AutoCAD in a out-of-the-box state. You probably use it with customization that you've developed over the years. So we need to talk about this a little bit. Well, if we use the same commands in BricsCAD, and if we make our interface organized in such a way that it feels like your AutoCAD, and then we add your custom tools to it, then we will make BricsCAD feel so much like your existing solution that we will achieve this muscle memory compatibility we talk about. This allows your user to train in just a matter of hours. It's really that quick. In fact, I do most of my initial training at lunch break. I invite people to come in and install their BricsCAD, check it out, get a feel for it, and usually within that first hour, they're using it. Then we can fine-tune it and talk about your customization. When we bring in your customization, this brings in CUI elements, tool palettes, your Lisp, your sheet sets, your templates, your plotters and page setups. So I want to make sure that I state you will be able to bring all these assets over from your AutoCAD into your BricsCAD. So you will not lose this work. So how would you go about actually setting up BricsCAD? Well, the first thing is you would go into your AutoCAD and you would look at your options command and you would start looking at how you have your AutoCAD set up to run. One of the key things about this is typically what are my folders, my support folders that I'm going to need to locate all of my assets like my blocks and my Lisp routines and such. So we're going to have to get BricsCAD set up in a way that's very similar. So I'm going to show you how to do this. What I'll do is just turn on my BricsCAD real quick. And what you may notice when I'm here in BricsCAD is really does look pretty familiar, right? I mean, I've got a drawing in here that you can look at. It's really no different than what you're used to. You can zoom in here. You can use palettes. These are your toolbars, ribbon elements if you'd like to use those, a command prompt down at the bottom. So it really does seem very familiar. Now, if I use the options command in BricsCAD, it will bring up our settings dialog box. This does look a little bit different, but what we do here is we just take advantage of our search bar. So I can say something like support path. And I can start searching through anything that has support paths that I may need, like here, right? So in our system directory, we see the program folder paths, and we can customize those. So we can set things like our Z BricsCAD support directory, which I've taken the liberty of setting up over here. So I've just copied over the things that I'm going to need in my BricsCAD that I had in my AutoCAD. So I copied over some palette folders, my plotter configurations, support directories with things like Lisp and PGP files. So you see here, you just copy the assets over, and then you use the settings dialog in BricsCAD. Let me minimize that. So you just use the settings dialog box in BricsCAD to set the folders that are needed. It's very straightforward. If you've used AutoCAD before, or if you've ever used the AutoCAD options box, you'll find it very comfortable to use this right away. So let's move forward here. Now, if we set those support folders, we can now start copying the Lisp routines and CUI elements that we're going to need into those support folders, and we'll be able to start setting things up. Now, one of the first things that people usually want to use is they want to know whether their Lisp files are going to work. And yes, in fact, they will. And I can show you right here in BricsCAD. We will use the familiar appload command. You've probably used this in your AutoCAD solution. Bring that onto the screen here. And here you can simply navigate into the BricsCAD support folder that I created, and you can load in your tools here. If you click the auto load column, like I'm doing here, this is analogous to the startup suite that you would use in AutoCAD, and that will make these programs automatically load every time that BricsCAD starts. Now, you can either use that methodology, or I'll switch back to PowerPoint here. Or you can use one of the automatic naming protocols, which I'll go over with you here briefly. In BricsCAD, the ACAD PGP file becomes default PGP. The ACAD CUI becomes default CUI. The ACAD LSP becomes on underbar start. And the ACAD doc becomes on underbar doc underbar load. These are some different file names that we use simply so that we do not have file collisions, or so that BricsCAD customization files become confused with AutoCAD customization files. So if you'd like to have your command aliases load, like your PGP file, then just use the default PGP trick. If you want to have your own custom CUI, use default CUI. And if you want to use an ACAD.LSP to load, then you could do that. Just rename it on underbar start. And I can show you this here, how I've done this. I've just taken my ACAD.LSP that I had on my AutoCAD system, and I copied it over here into my BricsCAD folder, and I just made a quick edit to some of the paths right here, changed my diagnostic line there, and I automatically load my files like this, just like you would in AutoCAD. So it's very, very similar. If you've ever customized AutoCAD, you'll be able to start customizing BricsCAD right away. Very straightforward to do. So we can migrate our Lisp. We just rename those key files. We can use appload or the onStart methodology to load them. And you can also use our blade command, which is our editor. It's very much like VLIDE is in AutoCAD. Simply then restart your BricsCAD to verify that everything is loading, and away you go. The only things that I typically have trouble with are paths that we're pointing to an AutoCAD folder. So don't use AutoCAD folders, use BricsCAD folders, and everything should go very well. I'm going to cover this very briefly. I will get this question sometimes. What if we do custom programming code? What if I have old Visual Basic? What if I have Microsoft Visual Studio projects that I want to migrate? Well, all you have to do is open those files in Visual Studio. You then add the reference DLLs that we'll give you, set your copy local parameter to false, and rebuild your DLLs. This will now make them compatible with BricsCAD's object library, and all you have to do is drag those new DLLs into BricsCAD, and they run. And again, just watch out for things like AutoCAD-specific paths that are hard-coded or AutoCAD-specific folders. As long as you avoid those types of things, really the migration of this is pretty simple. Let's talk about your tool palettes, because a lot of users use tool palettes. So the way that I recommend to bring your tool palettes over is you go into your AutoCAD session and you simply export them as an XTP file. That will bring over everything that is required, and you will then import that XTP into your BricsCAD. And I'll show you that real quickly. So here we have a palette interface, and we'll just right click in there. And all I have to do is go to Customize Palettes. And it's very easy for me here to just import. So this will allow me to bring in, and I'll go over to my Z folder, and I have some palettes that have been formed here. And you'll see that the XTP files and the images for those palettes are stored. And here I can just simply import them. I've already imported this one. And then you'll see the properties behind each one of these elements. It brings over everything that you would expect. It points to the target file location, scaling, auto rotation, auto explosion, line type, and layer assignments. So everything that you're used to will come over, and it will work just exactly as you would expect it to work. So it's very straightforward to do this. Very simple process. How about CUIs? Well, our CUI editor looks a little bit different, but the methodology actually is the same. So what I do is I go into AutoCAD and I simply export a CUI file that only contains the custom elements that I want. So only my toolbars, only my ribbon tabs. And I'll then go into BricsCAD and read that in as a partial BricsCAD CUI. And I'll show you this. So the CUI command is exactly the same as you're used to. Let's see, here we go. And it's stuck over on my other screen. So I may have to just skip that. Sorry there. So yeah, let me come back. When I go into the CUI command in BricsCAD, I simply use this file dialog here, and I load the CUI into BricsCAD as a partial. And then that will add it into my toolbars or ribbon tabs or workspaces. Whatever comes over from BricsCAD will come in and be put into your default CUI. So I apologize for the problems there. Let me move forward. And one of the last things we can talk about in terms of migrating over is to bring over your plotting configurations and managing profiles. So in AutoCAD and BricsCAD, there is a command that's called Plotter Manager. So let me move over here, and it looks kind of like this. You've probably seen this screen before. So all we do is grab the PC3 files, which are my printer configuration files. I take those from my AutoCAD folder, and I simply copy them into my BricsCAD folder, and that's going to be it. There's nothing there that's proprietary. by the way. This is the PC3 file is simply a configuration that points to a printer driver on your system. So you can freely copy those PC3 and PMP files over into your BricsCAD, and that's it. Then the next time that you plot, it will use those same device configuration files just as they have in AutoCAD. So it's really just that straightforward. You just copy it over, and that's it. And everything works. Your plotting in BricsCAD looks virtually identical to AutoCAD, so you'll be plotting in no time. And the final thing would be, once you have BricsCAD set up on your test machine and you're happy with how it's working, then all you have to do is go into the Profile Manager command, and you can now export those profile settings and then import them onto someone else's machine. So this becomes the kind of the same way that you've used ARG or profiles inside your AutoCAD environment. The only thing you need to know is that we use the Profile Manager command rather than the Options command to do so. And actually, I kind of like that because it takes the profile configuration out of the CUI editor, and it's less likely that someone will corrupt their profile. So kind of moving here and just talking about, okay, what should we do at this point? How should you move forward to start exploring BricsCAD? Well, let me give you a few suggestions. The first thing that I recommend is that you perform what I like to call a proof of concept study. And I help customers do these. That's actually how we did the Subsea 7 implementation. If you remember the customer story I told you about a bit earlier, you can perform your own proof of concept study using the techniques that we've discussed here by simply downloading BricsCAD and starting to work with it. And we can assist you with doing that. Cigar can help you do that as well. So we'll give you some contact information at the end here and how we can begin working with this. But the point is, you need to see how BricsCAD can work for you. You need to actually try BricsCAD and see it for yourself. Don't believe me. See it for yourself. Start taking action now. You can work with Bricsys to get your downloaded copy and start working with your customized content to make BricsCAD work for you. And that way you can see how easy it truly is to replace your existing solution with BricsCAD. Now, as you do this, please calculate your cost and understand the flexibility of BricsCAD's licensing and how much money you can actually save by using BricsCAD's network licensing as opposed to the named user licensing scheme that will be coming up this year with Autodesk. This will allow you to actually do a replacement proof of concept study with a return on investment calculation. You'll now understand what will it cost to purchase BricsCAD, how long will it take me to get BricsCAD customized, how easy will it be for my users to learn BricsCAD, and now you understand everything. And you're able to do it at the same time that you're still running your old solution. So you can do this in parallel. Don't wait until your AutoCAD licenses expire. Start doing a proof of concept now so that you know what your options are, and you can be ready when your subscriptions start to expire. You'll be ready to make the move. I'm going to hand it back over to our staff here that's online with me, but I'd like to close out by saying a few things here in summary. Can BricsCAD replace your existing solution? Yes, it absolutely can. I've done this with a number of clients over the last several years, and we have success stories everywhere from 5 seats to 1,000 seats, as you saw with the Subsea 7 example. So yes, you can replace your existing solution with BricsCAD. You really can go from A to B. You need to download BricsCAD, you need to try it for yourself, and you need to use the techniques that we've talked about in my presentation so that you can verify for yourself the cost-saving potential and how easy it is to actually move to BricsCAD. So thank you very much for having me.